बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा, जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ, जय गिरिवर धारी, जय गिरिवर धारी। जय यशोद नंदन, जय ब्रज जन रंजन, जय यशोदानंदन, जय ब्रज जन रंजन, जय यशोदा नंदन, जय ब्रज जन रंजन, जय यशोदानंदन, जय ब्रज जन रंजन, जय यमुना तीरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी। 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। राधा माधव की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव माई की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके bhaktir नैष्टिकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, Hare Krishna, today we'll be discussing the two verse number 9 and 10 from the fourth canto, third chapter. Tasmin bhaginyo mama bharatrabhirsvaker dhruvam gamishyanti suhriddrikshavaha aham cha tasmin bhavatabhikamaye sahopanitam paribharhamarhitum. Tasmin bhaginyo mama bharatrabhirsvaker dhruvam gamishyanti suhriddrikshavaha aham cha tasmin bhavatabhikamaye sahopanitam paribharhamarhitum. Anybody would like to recite?
Hare Krishna, may I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Tasmin Bhaginyo Mama Bhartrbhihi Swakai Dhruvam Gamishyanti Suhridrikshavaha Aham cha tasmin Bhavata Bhikamaye Sahopanitam Paribharham Arhitum. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Word to word meaning. Tasmin, in that sacrifice. Bhaginyah, sisters. Mama, mine. Bhartrabihi, with their husbands. Swakaihi, their own. Dhruvam, surely. Gamishyanti will go. Suhrat Didrikshavaha, desiring to meet the relatives. Aham, I. Cha, and Tasmin, in that assembly. Bhavata, with you, Lord Shiva. Abhikamaye, I desire. Saha, with Upanitam, given. Paribarham, ornaments of decoration. Arhitum, to accept. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly. Purport. It is a woman's nature to want to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions, meet friends and relatives, and enjoy life in that way. This propensity is not unusual. For woman is the basic principle of material enjoyment. Therefore, in Sanskrit, the word for woman is stri, which means one who expands the field of material enjoyment. In the material world, there is an attraction between woman and man. This is the arrangement of conditional life. A woman attracts a man, and in that way, the scope of material activities involving house, wealth, children, friendship increases. And thus, instead of decreasing one's material demands, one becomes entangled in material enjoyment. Lord Shiva, however, is different. Therefore, his name is Shiva. He is not at all attracted by material enjoyment. Although his wife Sati was the daughter of a very great leader and was given to him by the request of Brahma. Lord Shiva was reluctant, but Sati, as a woman, the daughter of a king, wanted enjoyment. She wanted to go to her father's house, just as her other sisters might have done, and meet them and enjoy social life. Here, she specifically indicated that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. She did not say that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her husband, because her husband was careless about all such matters. He did not know how to decorate his wife and take part in social life, because he was always in ecstasy with the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to the Vedic system, a daughter is given a sufficient dowry at the time of her marriage, and therefore Sati was also given a dowry by her father, and ornaments were included. It is also the custom that the husband gives some ornaments, but here it is particularly mentioned that her husband, being materially almost nothing, could not do so. Therefore, she wanted to decorate herself with ornaments given by her father. It was fortunate for Sati that Lord Shiva did not take the ornaments from his wife and spend them for ganja, because those who imitate Lord Shiva in smoking ganja exploit everything from household affairs. They take all their wives' property and spend on smoking, intoxication, and similar other activities. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. The 10th verse. Tatra swasrume nanubhartru sammita matru shwasru klin dhiyam cha mataram द्रक्ष्ये चिरोत्कण्ठ मना महर्षिभिः उन्नीयमानं च मृधाध्वरध्वजम् तत्र सुश्रुमे ननुध्वरतृसंमिथा मातृश्वश्रुक्लिन्न धियं च मातरम् द्रक्ष्ये चिरोत्कण्ठ मना महर्षिभिः उन्नीयमानं च मृधाध्वरध्वजम्. Anyone of you want to recite?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Madam.
Hare Krishna. Tatra swasamre ननु भर्तृसंहिता मात्रश्वसृक्लिन्न धियं च मातरम् द्रक्ष्ये चिरोत्कण्ठ मनामहर्षिभिरुन्नीयमानं च मृडाध्वरध्वजम्. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. It was nice. Hare Krishna. Go to word toward meaning. Tatra, there. Swasrih, own sisters. May, my. Nanu, surely. Bhartr Samhitaha, along with their husbands. Matra Swashrih, sisters of my mother. Klinna Dhyam, affectionate. Cha, and. Mataram, mother. Drakshe, I shall see. Chira Utkanta Manaha, being very anxious for a long time. Maharshibhi, by great sages. Unniyamanam, being raised. Cha, and. Mrida, O Shiva. Adhvara, sacrifice. Dhvajam, flags. Translation and purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. My sisters, my mother's sisters, and their husbands, and other affectionate relatives must be assembled there. So if I go, I shall be able to see them, and I shall be able to see the flapping flags and the performance of the sacrifice by the great sages. For these reasons, my dear husband, I am very much anxious to go. Purport. As stated before, the tension between the father-in-law and the son-in-law persisted for a considerable time. Sati had therefore not gone to her father's house for a long while. Thus, she was very anxious to go to her father's house, particularly because on that occasion, her sisters and their husbands and her mother's sisters would be there. So, as is natural for a woman, she wanted to dress equally to her other sisters and also be accompanied by her husband. She did not, of course, want to go alone. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyanamrandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganita Shri Vishaka Thamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yonta Pravishya Mamavacha Ima Prasuptam, Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharasvadhamna, Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanata Gadin, Prana Nama Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam, Mukam Kurotu Vacharam Pangam Lamyati Girim, Sakripatamam Mande Pramanam Namadama, Namo Vishtavaya Vishta Vishta Krishna Mahashubha Swami Namine, Namo Vishtavaya Vishta 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 Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine, Nirusha Shunya Pasha Vishtane, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. So Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji, welcome all of you for hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam. So this chapter is entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati. See, Maitreya, the first verse, no, Maitreya continued. In this manner, the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law, Daksha and Lord Shiva, continued for a considerable long period. In the second, he says, when Lord Brahma appointed Daksha the chief of all the Prajapatis, the progenitors of population, Daksha became very much puffed up. Third verse, Daksha began a sacrifice named Vajapeya, and he became excessively confident of his support by Lord Brahma. He then performed another great sacrifice named Brahaspati Shava. In the fourth, he says, while the sacrifice was being performed, many Brahma Rishis, great sages, ancestral demigods, other demigods, their wives, all were nicely decorated with ornaments attended from different parts of the universe. In 5 to 7, the chaste lady Sati, the daughter of Daksha, heard the heavenly denizens flying in the sky, conversing about the great sacrifice being performed by her father. When she saw that from all directions the beautiful wives of the heavenly denizens, their eyes were beautifully glittering, were near her residence, and were going to the sacrifice dressed in fine clothing and ornamented with earrings and necklaces with lockets, she approached her husband, the master of the Bhutas, in a great anxiety and spoke as follows. So she wanted she also got attracted. She also wanted to go right towards father's place for this sacrifice. So she spoke to Lord Shiva. Sati said, "My dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law is now executing great sacrifices, and all the demigods, having been invited by him, are going there. If you desire, we may also go." She didn't say we have to go. If you desire, we may also go. So now we come to the current verse. That wherein she says, "No, I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrifice ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly." See, in this material world, people are respected or recognized based on whatever material designations they attain in the course of their life. Okay. So designation should not degrade us into the lower modes, but it should make us more responsible. But unfortunately, we become proud and start disrespecting people around us. So in Bhagavatam, 4th canto, we find that Brahmaji appoints Daksha as the chief of all the progenitors. So instead of seeing that as an opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord nicely and also attempt to please the Lord, what did Daksha do? He misused his prestigious position. So he became puffed up, and thought that now he can take any decision independently. And so he organized a very big sacrifice. And it invited everyone except Lord Shiva and Brahma. So pride, it blinded him to such an extent that he could not even welcome his dear daughter Sati, who came uninvited to the sacrificial arena. Nor did he take any effort to prevent her from giving up of life also. See, how can he please the Supreme Lord if he neglects a Vaishnava like Lord Shiva and behave in such an inimical manner to his daughter? That's why in the second verse in this chapter, Prabhupada very nicely says, all sacrifices are intended to pacify Lord Vishnu. But Lord Vishnu includes all his devotees. That is important. So Brahma and Lord Shiva and other demigods are all obedient servants of Lord Vishnu. So therefore, Lord Vishnu is never satisfied without them. But Daksha, he being puffed up with his power, he wanted to deprive Lord Brahma and Shiva of participation in the sacrifice. Understanding that means Daksha's understanding was that if one satisfies Vishnu, it is not necessary to satisfy his followers. But that is not the process. Prabhupada says Vishnu wants his followers to be satisfied first. So Lord Krishna says, Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyadikha. The worship of my devotees is better than worship of me. So our real eternal designation is that we are servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. Dasanu das, dasanu dasanu das. So we should discard all other false material designations that we get in this life. Prabhupada, he very nicely says in the conversation that was in Tehran, I think, sometime in August 8th of 1976. So long we want to keep designation, we will have to accept material body and suffer. So our Krishna conscious movement means to educate people how to become free from designations. We therefore welcome anyone. He may come with designation, but if he lives with us, he follows the rules and regulations, he becomes free from designation. This is what he wrote in that. So in case of Daksha, we find he ended up getting the head of a goat as a result of his offenses. So later when he repented for his offenses and he sought forgiveness from Lord Shiva and realized his insignificant position and the great position of Lord Shiva, Krishna became pleased and by his mercy, he got back his original head. So designations in detail, what does designation do? Designations detain us in this material world. Detain means we will be here only. So, but what happens? Bhakti, it frees us from these designations and it will promote us to the spiritual world. So we have to make the right decision as to where we would like to go. So Chaitanya Prabhupada, he quoted a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila 19.170. He says, so these are designations, temporary designations. So one has to become free from these temporary designations. Then he is liberated, and that is bhakti. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So this life should be utilized for purifying ourselves from this designation. If you keep the designation, then there is no possibility of purification. You will get another designation. Now we are Indian, later on maybe American, or next a sparrow, or a crow, or a tree, or a demigod. Another designation, right? So one has to become designationless. That is called Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta Sana Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kankshati. 18.5 for Bhagavad Gita says. Then Bhakti, then it is Bhakti. So when one is designationless, if he wants to keep his designation, then there is no question of Bhakti. The Bhakti line is so nice that if you take to Bhakti line, automatically you will be designationless. So now you have to decide now whether you want to keep designation or become free from designation. See, we saw in this purport of ninth verse, today's discussion, ninth verse, where Prabhupada says, it is a woman's nature to want to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions, meet friends and relatives, and enjoy life that way. Because we all have this, right? We have some function, we are called for a marriage function, right? Upanayan, so many functions they call. So we all dress, especially the ladies, they want to dress a lot of ornaments, gold, diamond, everything, beautiful saris. So all this they want. That is the nature. And also they should all accompany their husbands and go on the social to meet friends, relatives. Of course, those days were like this. Nowadays, they have to take photos, selfies, right? Post in the Instagram. So all this, so that's social functions, right? So ornaments. See, decorating our bodies, with various ornaments or jewels is an integral part of beautifying oneself. See, there are varieties of jewels for women and men. Jewels or ornaments, in addition to beautifying, it also serves as a reflection of one's wealth and opulence. Correct, no? So people buy and wear jewels made of gold, silver, so many. So with various the diamond, right? With various intricate and artistic designs to decorate themselves, and also display their opulence to others. Also, decorating ornaments is considered as auspicious. Now, Prabhupada, in this fourth verse of this chapter, he says, in any auspicious ceremony, such as a marriage ceremony, sacrificial ceremony, or a puja ceremony, it is auspicious for married women to decorate themselves very nicely with ornaments, fine clothing, and cosmetics. These are auspicious signs. So there is nothing wrong. You have to do that. So even after marriage, the wife is very much happy with the husband if he presents her with jewels and ornaments on special occasions. Right? If it's a birthday or any other function, you have to offer, right? Present her with jewels and ornaments. So Prabhupada writes in 416 of Bhagavatam, generally according to the Vedic civilization, the wife is trained to be satisfied in all conditions. And the husband, according to Vedic instruction, is required to please the wife with sufficient food, ornaments, and clothing. Then, if they are satisfied with their mutual dealings, good children are born. This way, the entire world can become peaceful. What a beautiful! This is a peace formula, like, right? Very nicely said. So this decoration and jewels or ornaments is done for the deities also. We hear that devotees present various precious jewels, ornaments such as necklace, crown, waist belt, for the deities in the temple as an offering, devotional offering. So whether the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personal God, decorates himself with ornaments and jewels, does he? See, timeless Vedas answers this question by stating that the Supreme Person has an eternal spiritual form and also decorated with various ornaments. That's why Bhagavatam 3:825 states that Lord is beautifully dressed and fully ornamented. The translation says, his transcendental body, unlimited in length and breadth, occupied the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. His body was self-illuminated by unparalleled dress and variegatedness and was properly ornamented. Now question can be raised, why we should understand about the Lord's ornaments? Prabhupada answers the purport. The beauty of material nature is due to his personal beauty. Yet, he is always magnificently dressed and ornamented to prove his transcendental variegatedness, which is so important in the advancement of spiritual knowledge. So if one wants to advance in transcendental knowledge, one should understand the nature of Lord's ornaments and decorations. Now, many questions may be raised to gain understanding. What are the qualities and nature of his ornaments? We are also see, are Krishna's ornaments made of gold, diamond that we see in this world? In what way they are different from the ornaments worn by the people of this world? How do the acharyas glorify the Lord's ornaments? See, on a particular day, let us see one by one, right? A few points we can discuss. On a particular day of every year in Srirangam, called as Panguni Uttaram festival, Mother Lakshmi and Lord Ranganatha, they would come together as a transcendental couple and bless all the devotees. So on this auspicious day, Sripada Ramanujacharya, he composed a beautiful prayer called Sharanagati Gadyam, in which he expressed his unconditional surrender at the lotus feet of the divine couple. And in that prayer, Ramachandra first glorified the transcendental qualities in the form of Lord Narayana and Mother Lakshmi. And then he recited a beautiful shloka in glorifying the Lord's ornaments. Just read the translation. O Lord, you are decorated with variety of ornaments which perfectly suit you, so uchita, which are made of different, vivida, with varieties in each kind, vichitra, endlessly amazing, eternal, blemishless, extraordinarily unique, sweet scented, remarkably tender and pleasing to touch, exceedingly brilliant, crown, head jewel, shark-shaped earrings, necklace, chain, armlets, bangles, srivatsa, mole like curly hair on his chest, then Kaustuba gem, pearl necklace, girdle, yellow attire, anklets, which are limitless transcendental ornaments. So Ramanujacharya, he lists many qualities of the Lord's ornaments. And we'll see a few of them today. First is, all kinds of ornaments, they befit the Lord perfectly. So Uchita. See, different living entities are attracted to different kinds of ornaments. If myself and my wife goes, we attack different. So this is nice, that is nice, right? So some people like earrings, some like neck, some they will like necklace, some like the bangles, some like the waist belt. So to attract different kinds of living entities, the Lord adorns himself with varieties of ornaments. Can we see in this world, every person's, men or women, every person's personality is different. Only some ornaments are suitable for them and enhance their beauty. For example, the waist belt is good only for people with a thin waist. And those with a big belly will not wear it since it will expose their obesity, correct? So people select and buy jewels suited to their personality. But the Lord's transcendental form can accommodate unlimited variety of ornaments. And all will perfectly suit him. Not this little thin, no. So not only all kinds of ornaments, not only all kinds of ornaments will suit him, but the Lord's form, it will enhance the beauty of all those ornaments. So this is in contrast to the ornaments of this world because people in the world decorate themselves with ornaments to enhance their own beauty. Correct. Like ladies and gents, they wear for enhance their own beauty. But in the case of Lord, the ornaments become beautiful by adorning his transcendental form. The ornaments become beautiful. So Bhagavatam 3:12 says, the Lord is Bhushana Bhushanangam. His form gives all beauty to the ornaments that decorate him. So this was the first. The second, another point is, his countless ornaments are transcendental, divya. See, the most distinguishing quality of Lord's ornaments is that they are transcendental. So Ramanujacharya calls it as Aparimita Divya Bhushana, countless transcendental ornaments. The most opulent people in the world, no, they can buy any amount of ornaments, any amount they like, and use it for decorating themselves. But ultimately, these jewels are material. Because the jewels of this world are made of gold, silver, diamond, platinum, pearl, other precious stones, right? See, all these metals are extracted from the earth. That's why they are material. See, earth is one of the five elements. Ultimately, it is product of material nature, which is Lord's material energy, right? So they are within the scope of the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. But the ornaments which decorate the Lord's spiritual form are not made of material nature, but are completely spiritual in nature. So they appear like the gold, diamond, pearl of this world, but they totally belong to a different category altogether. They are eternal in nature, and their brilliance, beauty, the properties are completely different from the ornaments of this world. They are all products of the internal energy of the Lord, and they belong to the spiritual world. So, like the metals of this material world, they do not fall under the laws of material nature. They are full of knowledge and bliss. Satchitananda Vigraha, right? So we see in Bhagavatam 2:9-9, the explanation of the spiritual world, which was revealed to Lord Brahma by Lord Vishnu, wherein it says, in that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of influence in goodness. See, nor is there any of their influence in goodness also. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So, what to speak of the illusionary external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and demons worship the Lord as devotees. So, here the spiritual world is mentioned as transcendental, beyond the three modes and beyond the influence of time. So, Prabhupada, he says, everything in the transcendental world is everlasting, full of knowledge and bliss without deterioration. So, we also see that the Lord is decorated with crown, earrings, yellow robes, as it is given in Bhagavatam 2:9-16. Kiritinam kundalinam chaturbhujam pitam sukam bakshasi lakshitam shriya. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earrings and a helmet on his head. You can just visualize when the deity is in a home or a temple. He had 4 hands and his chest was marked with lines of the goddess of fortune. See, we already saw that the spiritual world is free from the influence of the middle modes and beyond time. Also, there is no trace of material energy. But we see that the Lord who is present there is decorated with beautiful attire and ornaments. So this shows that the attire and ornaments are free from modes of nature, beyond material energy, and therefore it is transcendent. So Prabhupada says in purport of 6:8:30 in Bhagavatam, in the spiritual world, nothing is material. The sword, the bow, club, disc, everything decorating the personal body of the Lord are spiritual living force. Anything pertaining to him is in the category of spiritual existence. See, we often see in the social media and internet, no, where the locations of most scenic places in the various parts of the world are shared. Right? We share. We go to see, they're not only mind-blowing, but they create doubt and wonder in our mind whether such beautiful place exists on this planet. In the higher planets, the standard of beauty is much higher. But when compared with the beauty of the Lord, this natural beauty which wonders a common man looks ordinary. So Bhagavatam says how the Lord's form, attire, and ornaments, they mock the beauty of the nature. So let us look over a long drive, right? See, people while going for a long drive in the car and tours, they have the habit of stopping at a scenic, beautiful viewpoint, right? And enjoy the nature. So enjoying and appreciating the beauty of nature is also appreciation of the Lord's beauty, but in an indirect way. But one who is directly attracted by the Lord's beauty, he sees all the beauty of this world as a reflection of God's beauty. So Prabhupada explains in the commentary, the panoramic beauty of nature, which strikes one with wonder, may be taken as a perverted reflection of the transcendental body of the Lord. So one who is therefore attracted by the beauty of the Lord is no longer attracted by the beauty of material nature, although it does not minimize its beauty. So Bhagavad Gita 2.59, it is described that one who is attracted by Param, the Supreme, is no longer attracted by anything inferior. And in the purport of the current verse, 439, Prabhupada there mentions, woman is the basic principle of material enjoyment. Therefore, in Sanskrit, the word for woman is stri, which means one who expands the field of material enjoyment. See, the Vedic principle is that one should avoid sex life altogether. The whole Vedic principle is to get liberation from material bondage. So there are different attachments for material enjoyment, of which sex life is the topmost. So Bhagavatam says that in the material world, man is attached to woman and woman is attached to man. Pumsa Sriya Mithuni Bhavam Etam. Not only in human society, in animal society also. That attachment is the basic principle of material life. So a woman is hankering for or seeking after the association of a man. And a man is hankering for or seeking the association of a woman. See, all the fiction novels, dramas, cinemas, even ordinary advertisements that you see simply depict the attachment between man and woman. Even if you go to a tailor shop, right, you will find in the windows some woman and women, some man. So this attachment is already there. So if you want to get liberation from this material world, then that attachment should be reduced to nil. Otherwise, simply further attachment will go on. Then you will have to take the rebirth, either as a human being or as a demigod, as an animal, as a serpent, as a bird, as a beast. You will have to take birth. So this basic principle of increasing attachment is not our business, although it is the general tendency. Graha, Kshetra, Suta. Home, land, children. Graha is home, Kshetra, land, and Suta, children. But if one can reduce and stop it, that is first class. So our Vedic system is, first of all, train a boy as a brahmachari, no sex life. So the Vedic principle is to reduce attachment, not to increase it. Therefore, the whole system is called Varnashrama Dharma. So our system goes Varna, the 4 social orders and 4 spiritual orders. Brahmacharya, that is celibate student life. Grahastha, married life. Vanaprastha, retired life. Sannyasa, renounced life. These are the spiritual orders. And social orders consist of Brahmanas, intellectuals, Kshatriyas, administrators, Vaishyas, merchants and farmers, and Shudras, ordinary workers. So under this system, the regulative principles are so nice that even if one has the tendency to enjoy material life, he's so nicely molded that at last he achieves liberation and then goes back home, back to God. So this is the process. So sex life is not required. But because we are attached to it, there are some regulative principles under which it is maintained. It is said in Bhagavatam 5:5-8. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam. So pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etam tayor mito hridaya granthi mahu. Ato graha kshetra sutapta vitter janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So this sex life is the basic principle of material life. Attachment for man or woman. And when a man and woman are united, that attachment becomes increased. And that increased attachment will induce one to accumulate graha, the home, kshetra, land, suta, children, apta, friendship or society, and vitta, money. So in this way, graha, kshetra, sutapta, vittai, he becomes entangled. Then janasya mohoyam, this is illusion. And by this illusion, he thinks, aham mameti, I am this body. And anything in relation with this body is mine. So attachment increases. So material attachment involves thinking that I am this body. And because I have this body in this particular place, and this is my country, that is going on. I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm this and that. This is my country. I shall sacrifice everything for my country and society. In this way, the illusion increases. And under this illusion, when he dies, he gets another body. It may be a superior body or an inferior body, according to his karma. So, if he gets a superior body, then also it is an entanglement, even if he goes to the heavenly planets. But if he becomes a cat or a dog, then his life is lost. So this science is not known in this world. How the soul is transmigrating from one body to another. And how is he being entrapped in different types of bodies. So this science is unknown. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna lamented, right? How can I kill my brother or grandfather on the other side? You're simply thinking on the basis of the bodily concept of life. But when he could not solve his problems, he surrendered to Krishna and accepted him as a spiritual master. And when Krishna became his spiritual master, he chastised Arjuna in the beginning, 2.11 Bhagavad Gita. Ashochananmashochastvam pragyavadamsha bhashase gata sunagata sumsya nanushocanti panditaha. You are talking like a learned man, but you are fool number 1 because you are talking about the bodily concept of life. So sex life increases the bodily concept of life. Therefore, the whole process is to reduce it to nil. See, a boy is trained as a student up to the age of 25, restricting sex life, brahmachari. See, some of the boys remain naishtika brahmachari, celibate for life, because they are given an education and they become fully conversant with the spiritual knowledge. So they don't want to marry. And even if they do marry, sex life is restricted. But the basic principle is that one cannot have sex life without being married. Therefore, in human society, there is marriage, not in animal society. But people are gradually descending from human society to animal society. They are forgetting marriage. That is also predicted in the Shastras. Dampatye abhiruchir hetuhu. In the Kali Yuga, present age of quarrel, eventually there will be no marriage. Boy and girl will simply agree to live together. And their relationship will exist on sexual power. See, the man or the woman is deficient in that sex life, then there is divorce. This is what's happening nowadays. So, Deha Patya Kalatradi, 1214 Bhagavatam. Deha, first affection is with our body. I am this Mr. Such and such. This is I am, my body. I have got attraction for this body. Then the offsprings, byproducts of this body. Apatya means children. And how this byproduct is made? Kalatra, through wife. Stri. So Stri means which expands. Vistara, expands. I am alone, I accept wife, Sri, and with her cooperation, I expand. So one who helps me to expand, that is called Sri. Even Sanskrit word has got meanings, right? So why woman is called Sri? Because she helps expanding myself. How expanding? Deha Patya Kala Tridishu, 214 Bhagavatam. I get my children. So first of all, I was affectionate to my body. Then as soon as I get a wife, I become affectionate to her. Then as soon as I get children, I become affectionate to children. In this way, I expand my affection for this material world. So this material world attachment, right, it is not required. It is a foreign thing. This material body is foreign. I am spiritual. Aham Brahmasmi. But because I wanted to lord it over the material nature, Krishna has given me this body. Daiva Netrena 331. So he's giving you body. He's giving the body of Brahma. He's giving the body of an ant as you desire. So the Lord, he descends for the benefit of the human race to give transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, you will be stuck in this entanglement. Material necessities are quite sufficiently provided for in the knowledge given in the Vedic literatures, right? Which offer a program for good living and gradual elevation to the platform of Sattva Guna, mode of goodness. So once one is situated in Sattva Guna, one's knowledge expands. So on the platform of passion, there is no knowledge. For passion is an impetus to enjoy material benefits. And on the platform of ignorance, there is neither knowledge nor enjoyment, but simply animalistic living. So the Vedas are intended to elevate one from the mode of ignorance to the platform of goodness. So when one is situated in the mode of goodness, he is able to understand knowledge of the self or transcendental knowledge. So such knowledge cannot be appreciated by any ordinary man. Therefore, a disciplic succession is required. See, material enjoyment means utilizing the intelligence for the sake of Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Shabda, and Sparsha. That is taste, smell, form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Shabda, and Sparsha. Only for this only we are getting attracted to material enjoyment. So the mode of passion is characterized by the attraction between man and woman. Woman has attraction for man, and man has attraction for woman. So this is called mode of passion. And when the mode of passion is increased, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. And for sense gratification, man in the mode of passion, he wants some honor in society or in the nation. And he wants to have a family with nice children, wife, and house. So these are products of the mode of passion. So as long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, it clearly stated that he becomes associated with the fruits of the activities and thus become bound by such activities. So in order to please his wife, children, and society, and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. So modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be the mode of goodness, totally going from bad to worse in this Kali Yuga. So we saw how Daksha, he misbehaved as a leader with deadly consequences. See, Daksha was a great progenitor leader, Prajapati. By dint of his performing the most opulent and demanding sacrifices, charities, austerities, yajna, dana, tapa, karma. So a person who acts in the three ways of dharma, simply for increasing one's powerful opulent social position, artha, and then enjoying kama, the resultant profit, labha, adoration, puja, and fame, pratishtha, coming from that is called a karmi. But at the same time, Daksha was a devotee. That's why he was a Mishra devotee, mixed devotee, and materialist. Or karma Mishra Bhakta. So similarly, a devotee whose service propensity to the Lord is slackened by his eagerness to gain knowledge is called a Jnana Mishra Bhakta. And when one is a mixed devotee, one has a problem with pride. Because the ulterior motivation to become recognized for one's skills and knowledge in the course of performing bhakti, right? So sometimes Krishna has to give that devotee a slap so that he will be able to shake off that prideful motivation. So since we wanted to enjoy apart from Krishna's Leela, okay, Krishna Bhahirmukha Hayya, Bhoga Vancha Kare. That is, because we wanted to enjoy apart from Krishna's Leela, we want to enjoy separately. So we are given a chance here to try our own Leela. by the help of Maya's making an illusory wonderland for us. But sooner than later, we are slapped awake to reality. And that is the end of our Leela. So in the middle world, whatever we try to accomplish by our hard labor, although at first we seem to cash in on our very good results, eventually transform into the exact opposite of what we tried for. Correct? So the reason is because this middle world is a reformatory place, prison house. And our merciful mother Maya doesn't want us to live in a cuckoo's land for too long. So in the Daksha's case, he wanted to gain fame as a great person. And after doing so many dharmic yajnas, charities, and austerities, he got the result. So whenever he came into an assembly, everyone would raise from their seats, and praise him. But later, after offending Lord Shiva, he became severely humbled and infamous, getting his head replaced by a goat's head. So that is because Daksha is an example of a leader seemingly doing dharma. Okay, seemingly doing dharma. But actually, because of his ulterior motives of enjoying dharma's secondary effects of sense gratification, he was doing it pretentiously. So this kind of untrue Kuta performance is called Kuta Dharma. So he didn't do dharma. Yeah, I mean, actually, so he didn't do adharma like Ravana or dharma like Lord Rama. He did Kuta Dharma, which is sometimes said to be even more worse than adharma because it misleads people to hell in the name of being very religiously sound. We see so many Babas and so many wrong directions, right? In Bhagavatam 4:3:17, Daksha was condemned. Although the six qualities, education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage, are for the highly elevated, one is proud of possessing them, becomes blind. And thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities. So the Sanskrit word used, asattama itarehi, means having the opposite result to those who are not great souls. So if one is not sattama or good-hearted, one is apt to be overcome by pride, lust, envy, by possessing these assets. That's why Kunti Maharani warns against these in her famous prayer, saying that we should rather be akinchana or asset-free, because Krishna is akinchana vitta, the only wealth of those disinterested in material assets. So when a devoted leader distracts into the secondary aspects or decorations of dharma, such as enjoyment, power, and even mystic knowledge, which leading to impersonal liberation, right? He's said to have lost the clue or lost his head. So Daksha exemplifies the danger of Mishra Bhakti. Srila Rupa Goswami has stated that devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service in the highest degree is Radharani. See, Krishna is called Madana Mohana, which means that is so attractive that he can defeat the attraction of thousands of cupids. But Radharani is still more attractive, for she can attract even Krishna. So therefore, devotees call her Madana Mohana Mohini, attractor of the attractor of Cupid. See, Madana means sex attraction. So since Krishna is Madana Mohana, one can neglect even sex attraction if one is attracted to Krishna. Sex attracts everyone in this middle world. Indeed, the whole material world is running on sex, and so-called happiness begins from sexual. So generally, a man marries to satisfy his sex desire. In that way, he begets children. And when the children are grown, they marry and have more children. It's all for the same purpose, sex. So material happiness means these three things. Shri, a beautiful woman. Aishwarya, wealth. And Praja, offspring. So generally, people want a good wife, a good bank balance, good family. And if a man has these things, he's considered successful. Now, through the effort to acquire and maintain a wife, children, friends, and wealth, the attraction for this material world becomes tighter and tighter. So we should avoid being attracted by the glitter of this material world and try to become attracted by Krishna. So in this connection, Sri Yamunacharya said a beautiful prayer. He says, since I have been attracted by the beauty of Krishna and have begun to serve his lotus feet, I am experiencing an ever new taste. Therefore, as soon as I think of sexual intercourse, my lips curl with distaste and I want to spit. So when one is attracted by Krishna, Cupid is defeated and one conquers over this material world. Otherwise, the material world is very difficult to surpass. But if anyone grabs Krishna's lotus feet very strongly calling out, Krishna, save me. Krishna promises. You say, Krishna, save me. He will promise that Krishna is saving. I will save you. Do not worry. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, you can declare to the world, I will protect my pure devotee. Name bhaktya pranashyati. So people do not know that their only business is to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and thus achieve the aim of the human life, which is to get out of the clutches of the material world. Any other business means we are becoming entangled in this material world. See, in our daily lives, there is always an incessant flow of desires. We always want to fulfill all the desires and gratify our senses. So Prabhupada says, unless all of these senses are entangled in the service of the Lord, or sorry, not engaged, all the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in the sense gratification can deviate from the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. That's why Krishna says in 2.7, one who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of material desires can alone remain peaceful. How to remain peaceful? 2.70. Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve tashanti mapnoti na kamakami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So, as long as the material body is there, desires for sense gratification will continue. But a devotee is not disturbed by such desires. This is because for a Krishna conscious person, the Lord fulfills all his necessities. Another point is that we must never neglect the instructions of our spiritual master. If we do, then we will suffer. Spiritual master is as good as God, and hence his instructions must never be neglected. If we follow the instructions of our spiritual master perfectly, impeccably, then only we can advance in devotional service and attain Krishna. So this episode of the standoff between Daksha and Shiva in this canto is worth a number of lessons. It is to a large part, the episode highlights how much harm can be created by unnecessary envy. See, Daksha was falsely proud of his opulence, no? He mistreated Lord Shiva, the topmost Vaishnava, by not inviting him to the great fire sacrifice, which was presided over by great rishis and demigods. Even though Lord Shiva was not too much bothered about it, due to his unflinching devotional service under the Supreme Lord Krishna, Mother Sati initially desired to take part in the yajna hosted by her father Daksha. So she went to the sacrificial arena in spite of the advice of Lord Shiva. See, we saw in the Prashno that the 9 and 10 verse, she saw all these family members, sisters, mother, sisters, husband, very nicely decorated, and they're all going. So she also wanted to go there. But initially, Lord Shiva told her not to because he will insult and all those things. But she was adamant. So she went in spite of the advice of Lord Shiva. But she was not greeted properly by her father, to whom she was once very dear to him. So understanding that both she and her husband were neglected wantedly by her father, Daksha, she decided to quit her body. See, actually, Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva. Even though Lord Shiva was externally associating with ghosts and hobgoblins, right? Internally, he was completely absorbed in the remembrance of Supreme Lord Krishna. And because of this, Lord Shiva was universally respected by all demigods and sages. So Daksha could not tolerate this. The property of envy is that when someone is given more respect in front of us, it burns us. So much so that Daksha was blind and unapologetic about his daughter, even his own daughter's death. So envy makes us feel that what we are doing, it makes us feel that what we are doing is justified and nothing wrong with it. That is hating the living entity whom we envy. It makes us hard-hearted, rendering us invalid for bhakti. Prabhupada very wonderfully says in 4.4.30 Bhagavatam, for the simple reason that his son-in-law Lord Shiva did not stand up to show him the formality of respect, he became so angry and hard-hearted that he tolerated even the death of his dearest daughter. So whenever any guest, even if he is an enemy, they come to our house, Vedic etiquette is that we should receive them with sweet words and make them feel comfortable in our presence. But Daksha was such an elevated personality, could not remember these saintly qualities. Even though he had so much power at his disposal, he was so much power that he can fill the entire universe with living entities. The result of envy is that one not only suffers in this life due to his burning effect, but he also suffers extremely in his future life. It is so proved in the case of Daksha also because of his envy towards Lord Shiva, his head was cut off and is replaced by the head of a goat, right? One cannot imagine how painful it must be to live with the head of a goat, especially when just a while ago he was so much respected by all demigods. All the demigods, sages, And they came to partake in this great sacrifice. So this point is very nicely given in 10:144 by Vasudev to King Kamsa when he was about to slay his own sister during the marriage parade. He says, therefore, he was telling to Kamsa, Vasudev was telling to Kamsa because Kamsa was about to kill his sister. So therefore, since envious, impious activities cause a body in which one suffers in the next life, why should one act impiously? Considering one's welfare, one should not envy anyone. For an envious person must always fear harm from his enemies, either in this life or in the next. So when we forget the temporary nature of our own life in this world, we start becoming envious of others, particularly who are seemingly blocking our way to glory and fame, and start fearing that they may harm us, even though they may not even have such an idea in their minds. As a result, we try to harm them either through body, words, or mind, and this starts the chain reaction between the two parties. So let us remember what happened to Daksha due to his undue envy towards Lord Shiva and pray that let us not get caught up in the web of such bad qualities as envy and pride while living this world. Krishna has given us everything. He has given every one of us the quota we are eligible for. And we really do not need anything beyond that, except, of course, unflinching bhakti unto his lotus feet. So this is very, very important to understand. So the various wonderful lessons, more and more lessons we could have learned, but time is the essence. We'll stop here. Thank you very much, Guru Mataji, for giving this opportunity to glorify the Lord. Hare Krishna, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Mancha kalpaturvich kripa sindhu Patidanam pavane vivashtu. If you have any questions or anything to share, then go ahead. Any points which was very practically useful for you to put into practice in your daily life.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That was an excellent
you.
class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Gurudev Jai.
Prabhuji, like I have one comment. Like in today's class, the point was like, as we said, Krishna is Madan Mohan. When we get attracted to Krishna, naturally we'll lose the sex taste. Like now, we should enjoy the sex. That was very, very valid point, Prabhuji. That was very well said.
Thank you.
And Prabhu, one question is there, like,
Yes.
if you can help me understand this, like, as Prabhupada is saying in the purport, like, that you have to satisfy the followers of Vishnu, like, first, as he says. So we have to worship the followers like, for Vishnu. So it is contradictory, like when you satisfy Krishna, everybody is satisfied. And here it says in the purport that first you satisfy the followers. So should we worship the followers? This is something confusing. Can you help me understand this?
Yes. See, of course, ultimately we have to satisfy the Lord. But Krishna is pleased when his devotees are satisfied. But that doesn't mean you should ignore them also. We should respect them. See, of course, you see in Bhagavad Gita, I say demigods, no need to worship demigods, they can directly, Supreme Lord Krishna has to be worshipped. But it doesn't mean you should not, because they are also great devotees, greater than even the human beings in this middle world. That's why they are given specific posts to undergo, like Indra is given for the rains. So different posts are given to all the demigods. So we have to, that's why in the beginning, even we see even Lord Ganesha, we go first do that, and then go to the next level. And see if you see in the pujas and yagyas is going on, then only, so ultimately by doing that, it approaches the Supreme Personality of God. He's satisfied when, in the final aspect. Because the demigods, they don't take it for themselves. Correct. So what happened when Lord Indra, he thought he was being always the puja, everything was being done, right? In every time. So Krishna came and told them, why you are doing for Indra? Because they said, because he's giving rains. That is his duty to give. Correct. So that it's not that because you are giving, then only he will give. Nothing of that. That he is supposed to give. So you should only glorify Govardhan. That was his tell. So Govardhan, Supreme Personal God himself. So you have to give the respect to them. So whereas what in this episode we saw, he did not call even the demigods. So they were not supposed to be called. They have to be given the respect. Then only Krishna will be pleased. Otherwise, just giving them is no use. And even in the pastime of Brahmanas' wives, right? The Brahmanas are giving puja, doing so much of pujas, so many things. But when Krishna himself told the coward boys, please go and because we are feeling hungry, please go and bring some food. They are doing the puja to please the Supreme Lord. And when the boys came and asked that Krishna and Balaram are there, please, they are feeling hungry, please give them food. They just asked them to go away. Correct. They didn't realize. Whereas when Krishna told them to go to the wives of Brahmanas, they immediately accepted. So this is the Brahmanas, they are doing everything, but ultimately they are not realizing the fact of that Supreme Lord Krishna is the ultimate one to please. So we have to please respect the demigods. Otherwise, Krishna will not even accept the order. But that's what is the point, Prabhu. Hope I was to some extent useful for that.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, very much. Thank you. But here, what Prabhupada is saying, the worship of my devotees is better than worship of me.
Correct. That's right.
Shiva,
See, like, yeah,
that Shiva is
similarly,
doing the
like
worship.
spiritual man.
Yes.
See,
I'm
like
sorry.
the
Yes,
spiritual masters are
Prabhu.
there, right? Spiritual master
Yes.
representative of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So you have to follow their instructions. That means by following their, because they are representative of Krishna, if you're following their instructions, that means you are following the instructions of Krishna only. So that is also a part. So similarly, you have to respect the demigods also. That's a point to understand.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
No
Hare
problem.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Sadhguru. Hare Krishna, Sadhguru.
Fortunately, this
Oh,
class has got a lot of takeaways today.
yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
It's full of takeaways. Something that we
Very
should
nice.
apply in our life every day.
Absolutely, Guru. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, unless we apply, there is no point in the
Correct,
takeaway, right?
correct.
Like in the food also takeaway, we take from the hotel. If you go and keep it in the home, there is no, you have to eat, no.
Correct.
Prashant,
You're right.
take
You're
away.
right. You're right.
Same with
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
you. Hare
Right.
Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I have a question, though it is out of the syllabus today. It's nothing related with the class. That's okay with
Yes,
you?
Prabhu.
I can ask.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is
Yes,
regarding
Prabhu.
Nirjala Ekadashi. We all followed Nirjala Ekadashi yesterday.
Yeah.
I have a little question on the understanding because is it okay to accept Tulsi and Charnamrit on a Nirjala Ekadashi? Because I've seen this happening during Krishna Janmashtami, that we were told that we can accept Tulsi and
Charanamrita.
Charnamrit. So
Yes,
how
yes.
does it work for the Nirjala Ekadashi for the larger interest? There are quite a few
Yeah.
devotees in the class today. I thought I should check with you.
Yeah, I said,
Thank
I
you,
think I
brother.
read somewhere because I think it is acceptable, Prabhu. I think in the Ekadashi Mahatmya only yesterday it was, I think I had read there only, it seems. Wherein that is, you have to- even a small, when you say the Hachaman also you take, right? Little bit that you can take. So this Charanamrita is allowed. That's what is
Okay.
said. So that is fine, bro. That's what I
Excellent, Prabhu.
read in this somewhere. I did. Yeah, let me see if I get that. I will forward it to you.
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji, for excellent
Thank
class.
you, Samadhi. Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice
Thank
class.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gurudev. So everybody going and buying ornaments, jewels today. Going to Joy Alucas to buy gold, silver. We saw some ornaments right today.
It's time to donate, Prabhuji.
Donate.
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Go and buy any jewelries, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It will be in a state of material energy only. It will not be in energy.
True, true. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't mean that you should not buy anything. Huh? Please don't tell that Prabhuji told in the class. So it is minimum is required. Okay, for our being a grahasthas, all these things are responsibilities to perform. It is required, but not in greed and all. Because keeping them also is a risky affair. We have to keep it in the bank. So many things are there, right? But still, for giving functions and everything, it is especially for women. It is very much required. But you offer it to Krishna and take it. That's better.
It is also auspiciousness, no? That's what is mentioned.
Yes, correct. That's a good point. Yes, very good. Because wearing this all and then going for functions and all is very auspicious. Very nice. Prabhupada says in the purport. So thank you very much, Mataji Prabhuji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord. And let's meet for more lessons later on tomorrow. More Bhagavatam lessons. So always be eager to always hear Bhagavatam, because this purifies ourselves. That is the main point, to purify ourselves. We are contaminated so much. But because of hearing day in and day out Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and all, so this Iskcon Seshadripuram is given daily Bhagavatam. No? It's wonderful. So it gives opportunity to people who are hearing, and it gives opportunity for people who are preaching. For example, for me, I have to read, right? So it purifies I try to purify myself in whatever capacity, and I try to share with all of you. And even the questions I may be able to answer correctly or not, I don't know. But with the more than capacity which I understand, I give it to you. So if anything mistakes, please excuse me. Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare
And
Krishna.
one more thing, Prabhuji. In Sri you told, no? Sri means yes, Satvaguna. Sri, Ra is Rajoguna. Sri, he will write in the Telugu, in any language. Sri means Ta, Ottu, and Ra, Ottu. So then it will become Tamoguna. The Sri itself is having Sattva, Tamo, Rajoguna.
Okay. Right. Yeah. That means the expansion. Very nice point. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Wonderful
Thank you very much,
session,
Prabhu
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. So I'll close. Prabhu, can I close or you are closing? Everything Prabhu is there? Okay, yes, put me as host. I'll close. Thank you, Uttam Prabhu, Santosh Prabhu, everybody. Hare Krishna. Nirmala Mataji, Archana Mataji, Balaji Prabhu, Kalyan Vishwan Prabhu.
Prabhu, Hare
Satyam.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Dandavat
Thank you,
pranam.
Archana.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu Mataji. Hare Krishna.